Here. Hello, it is 1 p.m. in Athens. It's 6 a.m. in New Jersey. I'm Monita Rajpal. This is World One, live from London. But first, the Greek austerity plan was so painful, protesters rioted in the streets, leaving parts of Athens in flames. But it wasn't enough for European finance chiefs. They were supposed to be meeting today to review the latest cost-cutting plans put together in Athens and, all being well, move toward a new bailout worth $170 billion. Has been following all the turmoil in Greece. She joins us now. Emily, I guess a lot of people are saying they're seeing the Greeks are doing whatever they can. We've seen the protests on the streets as well. What more do the Euro ministers want?
Well, you know, Monita, I think this really boils down to the issue of trust. The members of the Eurogroup are asking, can Greek MPs be relied upon to deliver the austerity package that they voted through with such angst on Sunday?
So the thing is, well, we've been talking a lot about the anger on the streets of Athens and throughout the country of Greece. There has been a lot of anger directed towards Germany. Why?
Well, you know, yesterday a Greek minister said, look, we've done enough. We've pushed through this austerity package. And many Greeks feel that Germany is the country that is really pushing.
Thank you for that, Emily Rubin, here in our newsroom in London. Well, Greece has been a popular talking point in newspapers around the world. We want to get a flavor of what they're saying. The headline in the Wall Street Journal's Asia edition: Fear and loathing in Athens. It's an editorial that says the Greeks burning down shops and breaking windows feel they're having something taken away from them, but they have the wrong baseline. The reality is that for years they enjoyed a prosperity they borrowed rather than earned. The come down from that was never going to be easy. In Britain, the Independent's headline is Greece should cut its losses and exit now, an opinion piece that goes on to say the answer to why this medicine is still being foisted on Athens is that the inability of Greece to serve its external creditors would probably lead to the global financing system crashing. But it is wholly unreasonable to use the Greek people as scapegoats for a colossal global catastrophe. And finally, the headline in the Katamarini English paper in Greece itself, acting at the 11th hour. It says, no nation or people can survive without hope that tomorrow will be a better day. Right now, Greeks feel frustrated and see no light at the end of the tunnel. In Syria, activists say military forces have launched a major offensive against the city of Hama. Explosions have reportedly been heard in two neighborhoods. Activists say residents are completely cut off from the outside world. In Homs, thick black smoke was rising on the skyline this morning. Activists say Syrian warplanes flew over the city. CNN's Arwa Damon is in the besieged city of Homs. For her safety, we are not disclosing Arwa's exact location. She found a group of opposition activists giving medical treatment to a prisoner who admits he had killed fellow Syrians as part of a government death squad. Here's her exclusive report.
Said is a paid killer. These men would like to see him dead, but instead they are tending to his...
You're watching World One, live from London. Barack Obama walks the diplomatic line as China's leader-in-waiting responds to attacks on his government's human rights record. Iran is trumpeting what it calls a milepost in its nuclear program. Tehran's deputy nuclear negotiator says the first Iranian-built nuclear fuel rods will be loaded into a reactor on Wednesday. Until now, Iran has relied on foreign-produced fuel rods to power its atomic reactors. Reza Sayed joins us now from Islamabad in Pakistan with more on that. Reza, this could be a major development in its road towards building nuclear weapons.
Well, those who are concerned about Iran, like Israel and Washington, are going to depict today's event.
But firm, it was all smiles and handshakes at the White House for China's heir apparent, Xi Jinping. China and the U.S. have often clashed on a number of issues, including trade, defense, and human rights. But Barack Obama struck a softer tone on Tuesday. Joins us now from Beijing. Stan, how is Mr. Xi viewed both within Beijing, but also what more do we know about him?
Yeah, let's look at how this is being covered, Monita. You know, this is a chance for Xi Jinping to try on...
Thank you, Stan Grant, there in Beijing. The Linsanity continues among basketball fans. The New York Knicks' Jeremy Lin wowed the crowds in Toronto, helping his team win their 6th straight NBA game. The Asian-American player managed to win the game in the final second. Jeremy Lin managed to surpass World One, live from London. An intimate goodbye for one of the world's biggest pop stars. We go to Newark, New Where she first showed off her singing talents as a little girl, a church in New Jersey will hold a private service on Saturday for Whitney Houston. The invitation-only funeral will take place in Newark. The eulogy will be given by Marvin Winans, a gospel singer who officiated at Houston's marriage to Bobby Brown. Susan, thank you. Susan Candiotti there in Newark. We want to turn to weather now. The temperatures rebound across much of Europe, but the snow is still there. Meteorologist Mari Ramos is at the World Weather Center with more on that. Mari?
Hey, Monita. Yeah, you know, I was just checking some of the latest temperatures, and what a change, really. We're starting to see those temperatures.
Mari, thank you. You're watching World One live from London. Government has heavily limited journalists' ability to report on what's going on in the country, but CNN's Arwa Damon made it to Homs, the center of the uprising against the al-Assad regime. She described the sustained bombardment of the city by government forces.
Well, that smoke you're seeing, right?
Well, that was Arwa Damon reporting there. Well, reports from Syria say government forces have also launched an offensive in the city of Hama this Wednesday. They say Syrian forces are deploying tanks and artillery and have cut off telephone and internet links. Well, Nick Payton-Walsh is monitoring the situation from Beirut in Lebanon. He joins us now live. Nick, let's talk a little bit about what Arwa was mentioning there about the fire at the pipeline in Homs. What kind of impact will that have?
Well, there are concerns. Certainly, this is one of the key parts of the oil infrastructure of the country. Effectively,
police in Thailand say 2 Iranians have been charged in relation to a series of explosions that happened in Bangkok on Tuesday. The incident puts Thailand at the center of a standoff between Iran and Israel over attacks on Israeli diplomats. Thai authorities say 5 people were injured in Tuesday's explosions, including 1 alleged bomber. The French president is set to kick off his re-election campaign today, just 10 weeks before the first round of voting in the country's presidential election. But there could be challenges ahead for Nicolas Sarkozy. The conservative leader's lagging in the polls as he struggles to deal with the European debt crisis. CNN's Jim Bitterman uses his culinary skills to show us who else is in the race.
So, you want to understand the way they elect their president in France.
This is World One live from London. He's the talk of the NBA. Jeremy Lin has been in action again with the New York Knicks. 2 weeks ago, he was virtually unknown. Now he's the most popular player. We're not talking about Pedro. We're talking about the NBA. Lin's sanity shows no sign of dying down in the United States. Pedro's here with the sport.
You know, this is one of those stories. It comes along and you just can't keep your eye off it. Let me tell you what it's all about. Jeremy Lin, a Taiwanese-American basketball player, has come out of...
Thank you, Pedro. You're watching World One live from London. Just ahead, why are some dogs barking mad at Mitt Romney? It's not exactly Miss World, but the contestants know how to strut their stuff. At stake is the coveted title of Best in Show. And here's the moment when the winner of New York's Westminster Dog Show was revealed.
Best in Show.
Now, Mitt Romney may be doing okay with 2-legged voters, but he is finding himself dogged by his past, and he's fallen foul of the canine lobby. Dogs are taking to the street in protest at the presidential hopeful's treatment of the family pet. Jeannie Moos unleashes the truth behind this controversy.
Inside Madison Square Garden, think of them as the hoity-toity one.
And I'm Monita Rajpal in London. Thank you for watching us here on W1. We'll update you the news headlines at the top of the hour right here on CNN.